So this is what it looks like up front with all this stuff in there. So something happened in this. Something happened with this camera. So as you can see, we're testing it out. Console cable, actually Cat 5, going straight to the DVR. Trying to figure out what's going on. I'm having problems with this camera. There's something about this material right here. I finally got one in over here because I had to use the long nails. Then I got to put a DVR in. You see, I got a hole for the microphone. What's up, y'all? I haven't done a story time in a while. Looking a little rough today, of course, but I don't care. I'm doing telecom work or IoT work. So I don't know if you guys have been checking out my videos, but I've been doing Internet of Things work. Oh, that's my. Oh, they said they getting off couch. They voting couch. Okay, no, that's my in-laws. They say no tangibles, no vote. Absolutely. I'm seriously, anyway, the Internet of Things, as you guys all know, the Internet of Things, anything that's connected to the internet. I've been working on this project for a lot of the Metro buses here in the Twin Cities these last few weeks. I'll probably be moving into, and I call these projects now, be moving into an internet service provider project where I'm able to work remote. As you know, remember I did the interview and these folks was playing games before, but now they want me. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But what I want to do for my story time was a quick update. Part of my allergies, it's been bad out here. I've been working on a project where I'm installing cameras, DVR devices. I've been working on installing Cat 5 cables, so I've been learning how to make those cables, something that I should have done early on in my career. Even though a lot of the projects I was working on, I did not terminate cables, I didn't install cables, I didn't do none of that stuff. That's something that I should have done early on. 20-something years later, which, like I say, all the projects when I was working as a Citrix administrator, when I was a business system analyst doing APIs, I never touched any of that stuff. I didn't have to. But it's important to do that because you can make money on the side through Field Nation, and you could do all kind of stuff like that. So that's another thing that I want to kind of get into as well. My brother Elmi, which I'm going to call probably in a little bit, brother Elmi, remember he did that broadcast with me showing how you can make money with Field Nation, and he was talking about the Cisco CCNA. Anyway, so I get on these buses and I install the devices. You have what they call a mobile gateway. They use this thing called an MG90. I'm going to post what it looks like. It's basically kind of a heavy duty plated. It's like a big router. It's kind of flat. It's about the size of my hands, if you could see, about, the width of my body maybe. And it's flat and it weighs maybe about 4 or 5 pounds. So you nail that in the technology compartment area of the bus. Off to the right, you have the DVR and you have these cables. Up above yourself, you have cables from the antenna. You have a device where these little go-to cards. We don't use cash too much anymore in the buses. The smaller buses, what they call the Metro mobility buses. They're smaller buses. They're not like the real big buses where, they drive all around the city. These are smaller buses that tend to be in the suburbs, and they're not just in the suburbs as well. But what I'm doing is I'm getting on these buses. I'm installing the mobile gateway. I'm going to install the little go-to card that I was talking about. So you load money on the card and you can swipe it. We install a GPS. We install these little devices called, I can't remember their name, but it's these little devices. So when they pull up to the Mall of America or when they pull up in certain garages, they're pretty much like open garage door openers. So when you go inside the mall and whatnot, they can easily get through the gates and things of that nature. So that's installed on the far right towards the door. You also have what they call it a Ranger. So it's basically just a GPS. So that's installed towards the middle of the panel of the bus. So we install that. I installed a curbside camera. So if you walk on the bus, people can see outside the bus. We install the driver camera, the front of the bus. So if there's somebody's driving, there's an accident, you can see the front of the bus. We install a camera called a 360. That's on the front of the bus above the driver, kind of like where the rear view mirror is right here. Let's just say that's a bus. Let's say I put the camera just right here. So let's say someone gets in the car, they can kind of see what's going on. We install a 360 camera in the back of the bus, so you can see people that are sitting on the back of the bus. So you're running all this cable through, the top of the bus, and all of that goes into the DVR. The camera, it goes directly into the DVR, and you have the DVR connected to the mobile gateway. So in terms of Internet of Things, the internet is powering the GPS. It's powering, it's not necessarily powering the DVR, but it's connected to where you can remote into the DVR or remote into the mobile gateway, and you can you log into this software, and it allows you to say, well, I want to see this clip. Somebody got kicked in the head and they was fighting and they were drinking beer. Okay, when did that happen? Now, this DVR is about a 2 terabyte, has a 2 terabyte hard drive, and it'll overwrite over a certain amount of time. 2 terabytes of video can fill up pretty quick, I guess, over time. But if there's no event, it'll overwrite. It's always recording, so it'll overwrite over time. If there's an event on that bus, they're gonna look into that pretty quick. It's not gonna be 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line. If there's nothing happening and there's really nothing to report, it'll overwrite the video data, and that's it. So what I'm saying is to like the young brothers and sisters that want to get into, if they're concerned about artificial intelligence and things of that nature, ain't no robots doing that kind of work. I'm just letting you know. Layer 1, that's going to be on layer 1. You're not really doing with layer 2. In terms of layer 3, you might deal with that a little bit. In terms of you're dealing with the router, the mobile gateway, you might as well say that's layer 3. But all of this, most of the time, is layer 1. So it's manual work. You'll have the DeWalt drill, which I recommend. The stubby tool set. It's like a 48-piece set in Amazon. I think when I do this edit, I think what I might do, I'm trying to think if I want to use my regular computer to do that. I might do that. I don't know. There's also, you're going to need zip ties. There's also some Cat5 connectors that you might want to use, because, if you're learning how to terminate those, you can use them and just kind of push the cord through once you straighten out all the wires. That's a good skill. These are layer 1 skills, aren't going to go anywhere. That's something that you can always use. So if you're in a rut and you're in between jobs and stuff like that, you can do stuff like this. Sometimes it could pay, it could pay anywhere between 30 to 40, sometimes 50 an hour. Sometimes you'll get to a site, you might do something for $150 for a couple hours or whatever the case may be. So this is just something to just kind of, until you get to your next thing. And then you could sometimes do this. There's banks, there's insurance companies. They want people to, to be able to do the manual work. And sometimes that actually pays more than software per hour. You go in, you do the work, and you're done. You're not dealing with all of these different variables and things of that nature. So I just wanted to kind of just do a little story time on this Internet of Things project. And I'm going to post some more videos on top of this video so y'all can kind of see what I got going on as we build this channel. So, you know, it's kind of good that I was able to kind of get out in the weather and I'm not just stuck in front of this computer and stuff. One thing I'll tell y'all, and I was going to talk about it on the podcast, of what happened on one of these projects that I had. I will say this, I won't get into tons of detail about the place because the company that I worked at is black owned. So I'm not, you know, the brother that owns it, he didn't really know what happened. But my first week dealing with it, I went to this site and basically my lunch got stole. And the site that had the buses, they nobody was really trying to compensate me for nobody was really trying to compensate what happened. And there was a bunch of excuses made. They tried to say that somebody threw my lunch in the trash, but nobody else's lunch was really taken, you know. And then one of the site leads at where they had the bus stations, you know, they were like, oh, well, it didn't happen before. Now, me being diabetic, I'm like, okay, what if my insulin would have been in there? What if I had insulin? What if I was a person that took insulin and I had my stuff? I shouldn't have to not have my lunch. I had 2 big waters in there. I had my wife's Tupperware. There's no way that you would have thought that that was your lunch. This sloppy suspected race soldier that I was working with, he was trying to kind of defend it, saying, well, someone may have thrown away your lunch on accident or they thought it was theirs. I'm like, no, nobody does that. Nobody's going to go and think that they took their lunch and took it. And the fact that nobody, they got cameras everywhere. The fact that nobody has brought back, because the Tupperware is my property. That's mine. You see what I'm saying? They didn't offer to pay for my lunch. And they didn't offer to pay for my Tupperware. One of the site leads at the company said, they sent out an email saying, you need to label your lunch. So it was like one of the techs' lunch got stole. So that rubbed me the wrong way. The company did not offer to pay for it. Not once. So the burden got placed on me. So I went and brought a lunch bag and had to start writing my name and write my name on the Tupperware. My wife started writing the date and the time of the Tupperware. So I said, okay, you know, but that's another reason why I'm going to be moving away from that project and whatnot. So, I got an offer for $7 more than what I'm at right now. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to move around. Rightfully so. It's going to work a little better with my schedule. I'll be back working remote for a little while. And I'm going to look at some other projects after hours that maybe I could do some more layer 1 stuff. So that's a possibility. That's something that I'm open to. But no, they had these guys in there that was basically saying, well, this has never happened before. They had checked through the trash, so my stuff wasn't in the trash. First they said that it got thrown away, but then they checked through the trash, it wasn't in the trash. Because nobody's just going to pick that stuff up and throw it in the trash. That's like you having a toolbox and somebody says, well, I just threw it in the trash because I just thought it was trash. When you pick something up that heavy, you're like, okay, this got some weight in it. What's inside? You're going to look inside. Oh, this is somebody's lunch. This is somebody. And the fact that somebody ate my lunch, and I'm wondering where these folks are from. I'm really kind of wondering, like, where are they from? Where are they from to do that? Because I wouldn't do that. None of my folks would do that. I don't know where these people are from. That you would eat somebody's lunch. Now, you don't know if they don't wash their hands or nothing. I don't know where they're from. I have some suspicion that these folks are from. I don't know where they're from. I have some grave suspicion that these folks are from another place or another country or something. Don't nobody do nothing like that, man. So, you know, and I've been to the site. Every time I went back to that site to work, I had a foul taste in my mouth because, you know, I've never experienced that in my life. Never. I have never experienced a situation where somebody done ate my lunch and then the company says, hey, you need to label your lunch. That blew me. That blew me. I started thinking about, okay, I'm moving around. We're not gonna do that because, like I say, I could have had my medicine in there, which I would have been rightfully so to do. I could have had my insulin in there. I could have had whatever. It doesn't matter what would have been in there. You see what I'm saying? So even if I did have my medicine and insulin, because sometimes I keep like little baggies like this. For example, sometimes I keep like a little bag, and I've been doing this for well over 10 years, man. I'll have something in my lunch. I'll have like my allergy pills or whatever the case may be. I have my allergy pills. Don't nobody bother my stuff. I have it in the fridge. So the fact that you were to take that, and I had it wrapped up. That's another thing, because I didn't have a lunchbox at that time, so I had my little cup bag, but I had it wrapped up real tough and tight. So that means you had to open it up. You had to look inside. You didn't just pick it up and throw it in the trash. It wasn't in the trash. You took my lunch. Somebody could have been prepping my lunch and not washed their damn hands. And you ate it. That was crazy. Hell, I'm just going to say that happened in Burnsville, Minnesota. It happened in Burnsville, Minnesota, man. At the bus site. I'm just going to keep it 100. I ain't going to tell no lies about it. This happened to me. I'm not trying to protect nobody. And like I said, the company I was doing the work for, the brother didn't know. The brother didn't know about that. That's way above his. It's site lead supervisors and people that below him. They're supposed to handle that. So, you know, I'm not. I wouldn't go to the CEO about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm you know. But the way that was ran. If this wasn't a black owned company, I'm trying to stay on code. If this wasn't a black owned company, I would say who the hell they is. You know, but like I say, the brother really didn't know what was going on. He had no clue. That's like, he don't even come to the office like that. But that's my little IoT story time, man. I'm going to make another story time pretty soon. I'm going to be doing some new things in a bit. So I'll see y'all in a minute. This is what it looks like side by side, the mobile gateway. I am going to install this as well. And I'm going to screw it in. All right, so that was a little rough. So now I got a full 4K DVR. I just went on top and mounted the camera. So you see the Ethernet. The Ethernet cable goes outside the curbside camera. So I'll be working on that. I'm just showing you guys what a DVR looks like. This is a Roadrunner 4K. There's no hard drive in it right now. But as you can see, that's your Ethernet cord right there. That's your power off to your left. That's the fan. There's some auxiliary ports, audio, network, all of that. So today we're going to install a microphone, install a camera. I got a DVR, so we're going to get 3 cameras today. So one on the outside, so I got that wired up. One on the outside, that's a curbside camera. The microphone, a camera here. I'm gonna drill a hole right here, and I'm gonna open that up in the back. And then we're gonna put the DVR right here. This has been pre-wired.